Hello everybody, my name is Marloes and I'm a corset maker from the Netherlands. When I was a little girl, I always watched my grandmother make us clothing and quilts on her BERNINA machine. And she always said to me, if you ever want to become a professional seamstress, you have to work on a BERNINA machine, because there's no other machine that will do your work justice. And whenever she would go away and do her groceries or go walking with the dog, I would secretly use her machine, and I'd have to be really careful to remember exactly how she put all her settings, and so that when she would return, she wouldn't notice that I'd been secretly using it. So let's have a closer look at my favorite BERNINA 530. When I sew a corset, I always use really small stitches, so that when there's lots of tension on the garment as you're wearing it, it doesn't split open at the seams. I also love the fact that it's got lots of decorative stitches on the machine, so it gives you the possibility to really make a unique piece. And with the decorative stitching, you can add a personal little touch to everything that you make. Some of the great many features on the BERNINA is the bright light, so that when you do your small stitching, you can actually see what you're doing. Very handy. When you start stitching a straight stitch and you then switch to doing a zigzag and then go back to doing a straight stitch, it will remember exactly how your needle is positioned and also your stitch length, which is very important when you're doing precision work. So one of the great accessories you can get with this machine is the walking foot, and I use it on almost everything. It will transport your fabric equally, all layers at once, without it shifting or rippling or moving around. It doesn't matter how thick it is, the machine can stitch through it, and the walking foot will glide over it like no other thing. One of the things that I always dreaded, absolutely dreaded, was making buttonholes. Hated it. So much so that I started doing them all by hand. And I must say, since I've started using my BERNINA sewing machine, it is a breeze. When you start sewing your buttonhole and you go on one side and you press the reverse button, it will automatically remember the length of the buttonhole that you were making. So it doesn't matter how many you have to sew afterwards, it will always be the same size as the one that you started off with. Now we will take a closer look at my favorite BERNINA. The BERNINA 530 offers enough space next to the needle for any type of garment. It nearly has 400 stitches, lots of nice decorative stitches, 22 practical stitches and 9 buttonholes, which are very useful for dressmaking. The stable hook system is reliable and robust, even if you're sewing with thicker materials, and it can sew up to 5.5 mm wide. And it is super fast, you can sew up to 900 stitches per minute, which is a huge time saver for when you're doing long stretches of straight stitch. But there are, of course, a lot of other BERNINA models that I can recommend for dressmaking. For those who prefer a smaller model, I can recommend the BERNINA 380. It is more compact, but just as easy to use and also has great features. And now I'll show you two genuine heroines, the BERNINA 740 and the BERNINA 720. They both have the same large free arm, with lots more space for large sewing projects. They also have a large modern color touchscreen. And the stitch selection is sensational. The new BERNINA hook system produces the perfect seam. Only the 740 has the BERNINA dual feet, but the B720 is also able to embroider. Both models have an inbuilt automatic thread cutter. And when it comes to speed, these two models are hard to beat. So you are spoiled for choice. So are all the different options a little bit daunting to you? Why not make an appointment with your local BERNINA dealer for a test sew? That way you can find out which model is best for you.
BERNINA, made to create.